Netcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is Twit.
Maybe, I don't know, 6 months ago, I reviewed a product called the Transporter, the file transporter. It was early days, and I didn't like it. And I said the software makes it so confusing, I just can't recommend it. Well, since I've started using it, they've improved the software a lot, and they've come up with some new form factors. Chad Johnson has the latest from the file transporter, the Transporter Sync.
The Transporter Sync. So what the Transporter Sync allows you to do is plug in a USB drive to the transporter network that you already have. So I'm sorry, turning the sync over so you can see. That's a USB cord, plug it in the back of it. This crazy drive right here is probably not what you're going to have at home. This is just what I use.
I just bought a
at my house.
You know, a portable USB drive, plugged it in. I have a couple of terabytes.
Any of the Western Digital Passport, any USB drive that is powered by USB or
USB 2. It doesn't need 3.
It doesn't need 3, but it will read 3. So anyway, I just want to mention that this looks insane.
Yeah,
I know
you look crazy, but that's the best you could do.
But this is me being crazy because I like to pull out drives. There's some writing on it.
It's a dead drive.
It's not dead. See, I crossed it out.
It's not dead yet.
It's not quite dead yet. But
so,
this
means
means
does that have Wi-Fi or is it only wired?
Only wired.
Okay.
Only wired. So it has a gigabit Ethernet plug on the back, and then of course your power as well. So you got power, gigabit Ethernet, and your USB. It's a fairly light device, and then along the edge you have an LED light. This is a status light. They give you a tiny little card to let you know what each of these mean. So if it's blinking between blue and green, it means that it's formatting the drive, or if it's blinking a specific color, it's lost its internet connection, something like that. Or it even will blink to tell you that your drive is full and that you've run out of space. Now, if you're not familiar with the transporter products, what they are is a private cloud. Like you would have Dropbox or SkyDrive or Google Drive even. These are all cloud drives where you can save something to them, and then it will be available across all of your devices. Now, when you're doing it with one of the competitors to Transporter, you're saving it onto their servers, Google, Dropbox, or Microsoft. So there's a little bit of a security risk in that, and then all your data is given to them. Transporter is the solution to that problem. By buying a device, you have basically signed up to use their software so that you can add your own hard drives and use your own internet and your own storage at your own homes or locations to create your own network of cloud for yourself. And it works really well. It means that it's also nice because there's no monthly fee. And especially with the Transporter Sync, if you just happen to have a hard drive already lying around, you don't even have to spend the extra money for the other Transporter products, which include drives or something like that. So the Transporter Sync is $100. So it's basically $100 to add an extra node to your transporter or to start your transporter system up. Now there's software across basically all of the different platforms: Mac, PC, Android, iOS, which is great. On iOS specifically, or on Android and iOS specifically, they offer really cool services like mobile upload, where it'll upload all the photos that you've taken automatically, so you have a backup of those precious memories, which is really, really nice. Leo mentioned that the software was a little bit confusing in the past, and I got to say they've really worked on it, and it's very simple now. If you're familiar with Dropbox, and I'll mention Dropbox because it's the largest person in the space, it works basically the same, where you have a folder that is the folder that's going to be synced into your network, and anything you add to that will be now copied over to this hard drive that's connected to the Transporter Sync or whichever transporter product you have. There's another feature that they call the Transporter Library, and with the library, instead of basically cloning all of your data across all of the hard drives that you have, it's only going to add it to the cloud. So if you have basically think of the library as an archive. If you don't need to get at that data all the time, but you want to keep it in a secure place. So, you know, it would be perfect for photos that are really old that you want archived, but you're not really going to be looking at them every single day. Other than that, everything gets cloned across all of the different devices. So that's basically it for the transporter sync.
Does not include that hard drive.
Does not include this hard drive.
Just to be clear, you have to buy a hard drive.
Yeah, this is just saying, yes, it's connected to something. Taking this out of the equation, the transporter sync is really what you're buying here. And it's just a little puck.
Yeah.
So
the other thing that's good about that is if you have more than one transporter, for instance, I have that at home, the old transporter here, they will sync with each other. So now you have off-site backup, more than one copy. And that's real. I feel like that's great peace of mind.
It's amazing peace of mind to really...
It takes a while to, you know, I have 2 terabytes.
Yes.
So it takes a while, but now my stuff's everywhere.
I got to say, I'll cover it in the pros and cons, but the fact that you're not using anyone else's bandwidth, you're only using your own.
Just yours. It's secure, uses SSL for the transport. The file format is unique, so you can't take that drive out and look at it on some other thing. So, that's a little weird, negative.
Right. So the pros are the I'm going to say that it's secure. That it uses your own drives, so if you're a person who has a lot of drives laying around, it'll cost you very little, and that there's no monthly cost.
Love that.
On the cons, I did have a little bit of crashiness with the iOS app, but we reinstalled. We did this actually live, and it works. It works fine. Now, it could be a con, it might not be a con, is that it uses your own internet speed, which means if you have caps at your house, this could be a con. It also reformats your disk. So if you have anything saved onto the disk that you want to just plug in and start using with your drive, it won't do that. It'll completely wipe it. And especially with a USB drive, I feel like there's a more likelihood that would happen by someone being like, oh, I want all this data on my transporter.
Let's start with a set.
Yes,
no, you can't do that.
You can't do that. It will reformat everything.
My guess is that has to do with the synchronization. They're doing additional information. They've added versioning, by the way, now. So
it's amazing.
You can keep old versions going back as long as you've got space forever.
Right.
That's, I think, is that Windows only? I can't remember. But it's great to have that.
Now, and you can also add up to 4 terabyte drives on the transporter sync.
That's amazing.
Which is just awesome. And just,
How much would 4 terabytes of Dropbox
So
cost
I did the math. So Dropbox and Drive, Google Drive, cost $9.99 a month for a terabyte, for 1 terabyte. SkyDrive is actually coming in at the least expensive at $7 for a terabyte a month.
So that's $84 a year per terabyte.
Right. Now, Dropbox offers, you know, like $99 for but that's just 1 terabyte and for 1 year.
Right.
So you could especially if you have a USB drive lying around your house that you could plug in and use. This is almost a no-brainer if you're looking at a personalized cloud. Even if you have to go out and buy one, in the long run, you aren't spending the cost of having Dropbox or Google maintain it, and you're getting a really good deal. So buy, try, don't buy for the transporter sync, coming in at $99. It's going to be a very big buy.
Good.
I really, really like it. And I want more, because exactly what you were mentioning about putting it in other places.
I love it.
I want to hide transporters all over the world and make sure that all my data is secure.
I have to say, I'm really glad we did an update on this, because I did say do not buy when it first came out. They've done such a good job of improving it. It is now as easy to use as, or almost as easy to use as Dropbox. Maybe it's still a little bit confusing, but boy, it works great.
It really
I'm really happy with it.
And I was transferring multiple gigabyte video files around, which I've used other services, and sometimes they get a little mad at you. They're like, "Do you realize this is above 3 gigabytes?" And with obviously no problems at all with the transporter.
Yep.